on Open House with Dr. Lola. I've answered questions, and then I have some more here that I'm going to be answering. Now, someone sent a question and said, how do I invest in a volatile economy? I talked about the fact that, I was going to talk about investment opportunities and vehicles, so that I can just do the two questions together. So, how do I invest in a volatile economy? Um, Whether we like it or not, is very apparent that the economy is volatile. Because I remember this year we started with fuel going for, I think, 700, if I'm right, or 800. Now it went up as high as 1,000. At the moment, it's going for like 1,003, 1,004. So we are actually in a volatile economy, an economy that you can't really plan. You go to the market today, you see something for 200 naira, you're getting there tomorrow and you're seeing it for 300 naira. Yes, but how then do I invest? Is even something visible or possible? I would say yes, you can invest, because the first thing is to learn to save. And that's why I took time to talk about it. That savings and investment is what builds your wealth. So you must learn to save and you must learn to invest. So we should know that in the periods of high volatility, the goal is not just growth. The goal is to preserve your wealth. It's very, very important. So, yes, we think about growing, but at the same time, you must be sure that you don't lose your wealth in volatile situations. This is not a time for get quick rich schemes. This is not a time for somebody to tell you, bring 20,000. There's something we will do, and then you'll be able to get 50,000 or 100,000. This is not the time. So, in situations like this, investing is critical, but you must invest in the right vehicles. This is not a time to be greedy. This is not a time to say, oh, I want to make all the money. You must be concerned about preserving your wealth, at the same time growing it systematically, growing it without allowing greed to take the better part of you. So I would say, first and foremost, it's important at a time like this to be able to have what I call 6 to 12 months expenses in a high yield savings account. We call that emergency funds account. A time like this, you can actually invest. So the first thing I'm going to recommend is to have an emergency fund account. Now, such an account can be mutual funds, money market, or high yield savings. There are some um, savings accounts that will give you as high as 15%, 18% if you have it 3 to 6 months. So you can invest in such money markets, high yield savings. So lock up the funds there, so that when you have an emergency, you can always take out of it. And of course, if no emergency comes, the money continues to grow. Another thing I will talk about is investing in shares and in ETFs, exchange traded funds. Now, this helps you to diversify, especially the ETFs. Now, if you invest in shares, I have a book, like I said, From Shares to Wealth, because I know you can actually build wealth from shares. It's just being able to invest in the right company, in the right shares. We've had people that have got their fingers burnt by investing in companies that have gone under, and they feel that you can't build wealth from shares. You can. All my books are available on Seller, all of them. And of course, if you need to get, you can also contact me. They're also available at Roving Heights, booksellers, major bookstores in Nigeria. Now, ETFs are good because they help you to diversify and spread your risk. What are ETFs? Just like I said, exchange traded funds. And I'm going to give an example this way. Um, if you buy Apple and the apple you bought is not good, then you are not able to eat the fruit at the particular time. Hello, I see someone. So if you buy apple, if the apple gets spoiled, you can't eat it. But ETFs are like baskets of different fruits. If one is not okay, you can remove it and take the others. So another way you can invest in times like this, or invest generally, is to invest in shares, is to invest in ETFs. Now, there are several of them. There are several ETFs that you can invest in. Several of them. We have the Stanbic ETF. We have S&P. A lot of them. Greenwich, Vetiva. A lot of them that you can invest in. And we have fund managers. We have capital investment or asset management companies that can actually assist with this. And of course, if you reach out to me, like I said, I do one-on-one consultation. If you reach out, I can always give advice, because a lot of people, they have left shares thinking that, they can't build wealth from it. You can actually build wealth from it. Another thing I want to say at a time like this is that you can, invest in real estate. You can invest in commodities, business ventures. But of course, whatever it is that you're investing in, I always say it, make sure that it is something that you know about. You've done your research. Don't follow the crowd. Oh, everyone is investing in this and you don't even know anything about it. You just put your money there. Note that wherever your treasure is, your heart should be there. So wherever you're putting your money, you should, know a little about it. And of course, and that is why we have professionals that can give, advice. So if you need advice, feel free, to reach out. It may not be free like this. Open house with Dr. Lola is, a forum to just attend to people's questions and concerns. So I've addressed the third question, and I've merged it with another question that says, do you help with investment? Yes, I do help with investment. I give investment advices, and I've talked about different investments that we can, do. Okay, so I have another question here. It says, how do I scale without burning out? I'm very sure this person is a business person. It's talking about scaling in business. How do I scale without burning out? Um, this is very critical because we hear a lot of work-life balance, but nowadays it's been, should I say, modified or properly put in perspective to say work-life integration, because you need work whether we like it or not. In stress, I did a thesis in stress. There's positive stress and there is negative stress. So you need a little of, positive stress. You need a little ginger to move on. So I would say that it is more of work-life integration. So now this person is saying, how do I scale in my business without necessarily or without burning out? I would say that scaling is not about working harder. It is actually about building systems, working smarter. It's about building systems. Now, thank God we are in the digital world. Thank God we're in the digital space. Thank God that we have AIs and all of this to help. You actually need to build structure and system in your business, not to burn out. It's very critical. Why? Because these tools, for example, the technological tools, the AI tools, they are there to help us. They are there to make work faster, make work less stressful. We are meant to use them to our own advantage. Over time, I've heard people say, "Oh, AI is going to take, our spaces," but really, it's not. It's not that AI is going to take our space, our place, or our position. We all just need to be able to properly use them to our own advantage. So I would say for this person that is asking, generally for life, because all of us are either professionals or business people and we're doing a lot, we need to take care of ourselves, personal health and wellness, very important. Our total well-being, very important. We need to watch what we eat. We need to watch what we drink. Take a time to rest. Sleep, very important. Sometimes you have naps, and these naps do a lot to the body. So I would say that it's important for this person to build systems. Look for tools that will help to make work easier and better. Now, you cannot separate organizational skills and proper planning, from helping one not to burn out. I've had people ask me questions. Oh, how do you juggle this? How do you do this? You're a mother, you're a student, you do this. And my question is, you need to properly plan, and that's a place of structure. You need to build systems, checklist. What do I need to do today? How do I plan my time? Budget your time. Have tools that you use. For example, if you're looking for working on your accounting, there are some tools online that you can use, like QuickBooks, for example. You want to have um, invoices. There are free invoices that you can use online. You have a store, maybe on any of the e-commerce platforms. There are so many things that you can do, to scale without burning out. But you must be intentional. I want to use that word. You must be intentional about taking care of yourself. That you can't rule out. You have to be intentional. So, like I said, you must move from just being an operator to being an architect to being a strategist that would be able to plan the structure and the system for your organization. There's this one of my mentors, that's Robert Kiyosaki. He wrote a book, Cash Flow Quadrant. And in the cash flow quadrant, we have the employee and the self-employed on one side, and we have the business owner and investor on the other side. Now, he went on to say that a self-employed is not different from an employee because both are trading time, energy for money. Because as a self-employed, you are doing everything and you don't have structure and systems that is helping out. Now, to move to the other side of being a business owner, you need to build structure and system. You may need to have, one or two staff join you, have things that will help you, do your work faster and easier. Now, we're in the world of digital, so you cannot but, you know, have these tools to help you. Don't run away from them. We need them. We will use them. So please get tools that will work for your business. I'm just talking generally because I don't really know exactly what business you want to scale, but it's important to build structure and to have systems. Several systems, you know, system for marketing, system for promotion. I was telling someone, I said, thank God for, you know, technology evolving and changing, the dynamism in technology. Before, if you need to post, you have to post every time. But now you can schedule your post. So if you're going to give yourself maybe a day or some hours in a day to do your different contents, you can do that and schedule it. And they will drop on the days and the times that you have scheduled them to do. So you just see that, is dropping. And at that time, you only just maybe 30 minutes in a day or in a week to make your content, and it's posting. You can see that you built a structure around that. So you can build structure, you can build systems. You can also get people to assist you, with some of the things that you need done. Okay, so I have another question here. And this question says, how do I pivot without starting from zero? How do I pivot? This is a question on career, I want to believe. How do I pivot without starting from zero? Now, I would say that you never truly start from zero. Why? Because you have transferable skills that you already have. Apparently, you're working somewhere and you want to move to another maybe industry or another business entirely, another company entirely that has nothing to do with what you're doing at the moment. But I must tell you that you're not starting from ground zero. Why? Because you already have some skills that, even if it's not 100% fit for the new sector or the new business or the new industry, you will still be able to make use of it. Now, we have soft skills that are useful everywhere: customer service, communication, negotiation, interpersonal relationship skills, critical thinking skills, analytical skills. Now, all these skills are things that you use in every industry, even though it might be in different degrees and different situations, but you need them. So you need to equip yourself not only with technical skills, you need to equip yourself with soft skills, life skills that are very important. And I just wrote a book for children, Bisola and the Paper Clock. And the book teaches 3 life skills: proper time management, the power of writing things down, and the power of vision. Now, I decided to teach children these life skills because there are things that they will need with time as they grow. So, aside the 2 finance books I have, I just released the 3rd book. And why did I do that? I discovered that a lot of times when we go for programs or we have events or we have, you know, activities, people always come late and they will say African time. And I begin to think, what is African time really? I think it's something that we have built over time. So African time is something that we have built over time. There's nothing like that. We just decided on our own to not value time. And time is an essential resource, a critical resource, a convertible resource, a resource that you can convert. For example, if you're here listening, you have converted this time into learning, into adding to your knowledge. If you spend it with the family, quality time with family, relationship. If you go to school, you've converted it to, learning, knowledge, wisdom. So I would say that you are not starting from ground zero. The skills that you already have, you take them to the new place or to the new industry or the new sector or the new department that you are going to or you want to go to. And I want to say that in this time, it's very important for us to build soft skills, to develop ourselves in soft skills, public speaking, oratory, communication. It's important that we develop ourselves in that. So if you're moving, for example, from finance to tech, your hard skills might change, but your soft skills, just as I've said, you're going to need them. Your technical skills, your art skills might change because, depending on the industry, maybe you're going from manufacturing to a finance industry. Yes, the hard skills will change, but the soft skill, no. You're still going to need them. It might be in different degree or different situation, but you're going to need them. So I would say that it's important to build yourself more in soft skills. Yes, you need to be competent. Your IQ is very important, but you also need to build yourself in soft skills because you're going to need those, in every sector or every company or every industry that you find yourself. Problem solving skills, critical thinking skills, analytical skills, communication, interpersonal relationship. All these are skills that are essential for every industry, every business, and every sector. Okay, so I have another question here, and I think that's the last question that I have here, or second to the last. Yes. Okay, so I have one more question here. Wow. This person is asking, and the question is, how do I beat imposter syndrome? Okay, so, oh well, um, I said sending questions on personal development, on business, on career, on finance, on family. Okay, so I would say that imposter syndrome is more of how do I put it? Trying to discover yourself. Let me put it that way. You are not sure of yourself, so you're trying to be like somebody else. You need to uncover yourself. Let me put it that way. You need to discover yourself. You're unique, you're special, you're different. There's something about you that no one has. I tell people I'm beautiful, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. And so are you. You're unique. No one has the same fingerprints as you. So it shows that you're special, you're unique. There's something about you that no one else has or is not in any other person. So you need to uncover yourself. You need to discover yourself. Don't compare yourself to any other person. Don't want to be like any other person. Yes, you can admire people. I have mentors as well. I have role models. I have people that I learn from. I have people that I study. I have people that, I look at them and say, oh, I want to be like this. I'm looking forward to also being on this platform, like my mentors, like my role models. However, I do it my own way. I'm not going to speak like somebody else. I'm not going to try and dress to look like somebody else. So I would say yes, it's you trying, to uncover yourself, you trying to discover yourself. So it's important that you uncover yourself. It's important that you discover yourself. Know who you are exactly. And in one of my books, My Pot of Gold, yes, My Pot of Gold is a finance book, my first finance book for adults. In my Pot of Gold, I have a chapter that is dedicated to what I call the shape inventory. And that is a tool that you can use to uncover yourself, to discover yourself. Now, the shape inventory is such that it helps to draw your shape. Let me put it that way. It helps to tell you who you are. And what I did in that chapter of the book was to relate discovering yourself to businesses, to professions that you can do based on who you are. So it's important for you to discover yourself, to uncover yourself. And when you do that, continue to grow. Continue to grow. The growth mindset is very important. So you can pick my book and look at that chapter on shape vis-a-vis the profession and the business that you thrive more in based on who you are. Who are you exactly? You know, what's your shape? S stands for spiritual gifts, H for your heart, A for your abilities, your natural talents, P for your personality. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? E for experiences of life. So I would say that you need to uncover yourself. That is one thing that can help you to overcome the imposter syndrome. You don't want to be somebody else. You don't want to be who you are not. It's good to be you. It's good to be authentic. I'm going to go to the last question and then we'll call it a day. I want to really say thank you to everyone that joined in here. I think here. I think just to be sure I've addressed it. How do I find a mentor? Or more importantly, how do I make that relationship mutually beneficial? How do I find a mentor? Well, I would say that you need to know exactly what you want. When you know what you want and you see it in somebody, then you can approach the person, you know, to be your mentor. Prayerfully, you can approach the person because you see, relationship is very important. Relationships can make you or can mar you. So, prayerfully, you know, look at what you want. What do I really want in life? Or in this next phase of my life, what do I want? It could even be that you need a coach and not a mentor. Whatever it is, find out what exactly do I want to achieve. Now, your objectives and your goal is what will help you to find the right mentor. So, if, for example, you need a mentor, maybe you're a young mother and you need a mentor, definitely having someone that is not a mother will not fit into what you need. You're a young mother, maybe you're trying to see how you can, manage work and motherhood. Then you need to look for someone who has gone through that path before, somebody who is a mother or who has raised, children and, maybe while raising them was working or was into business. Such a person can actually help you out. So I would say that you need to know what you want. What do you want to achieve? What are your goals? What are your objectives? Then look out for someone that has walked that path and successfully walked the path, and approach the person. And if the person says a yes, then you can start. And if the person says, oh, I'm sorry, I can't, take on any mentee now, you can still look out for somebody else. What I will also say is that there are several platforms that has mentoring and mentorship programs that you can look for and apply. We have Yumi that does mentoring for young mothers, Wimbies for people in business and in career. We have Live for Africa, a lot of platforms like that that has mentorship program. That was even one of the reasons why I introduced it to my alumni. So because mentoring is a very good platform for growth. So if you need to find a mentor, you first must know what you want to achieve, your own goals and objectives, and then look for someone that exemplifies exactly that or even something more than that, and approach the person. And I want to believe that there's so many people that will be willing to assist you in your journey of growth. Um, we're going to be stopping here. I think there are still other questions. How can I diversify my income streams? Okay, I've talked about that. That's another question. And I think I've been able to merge that when I was talking about, you know, how do I invest in a volatile economy? Do you help with investments? So this person is talking about diversifying income streams. Oh, this is not even investment. Okay, so let me just quickly touch on that in the next few minutes. Um, Income stream, we have two types of income: the active income and the passive income. Active income is the one that you trade your time and energy for, while passive income is the one you trade little or no time. Little or no time. For example, if you have a book or you have um, a course online. Now, the only time you would expend time and maybe energy is maybe when you're writing the book or when you're coming up with the curriculum or something. By the time you have it online, people are buying or paying for it, or they're enrolling in the course. You are just making the money. Now, if you invest in shares of other companies, if you invest in a business venture and you're getting, the profit, maybe profit sharing, or if you invest in um, property and you're being paid your rental income, you're not managing that facility, people are managing it and they are giving it to you. That's passive income. Royalties. So, what I would say is, even if you're having active income, a source of income, maybe your business or your career, you can also diversify by investing in other investment vehicles such that you're getting income. Your money is working for you as you're sleeping. Dividends are paid, you're getting those alerts, or your books are being paid for, or you have music, whatsoever it is, that you have that is bringing in money for you. So I would say that it's important for you to have, at least two streams of income, at least your business or your profession, and then invest in shares, mutual funds, money market, treasury bill, FGM bond. Invest in all those, and then monies will be coming in. You may need to pick my books, My Pot of Gold, From Shares to Wealth. Also, for your children, like I said, I have two finance books for children. Bisola Visits Her Grandmother, talking about making money, managing money, multiplying money, and Bisola and the Colorful Jars, talking about practical ways to budget your money using the save, the spend, and the give jar. And of course, the last book I just um, released, published, Bisola and the Paper Clock, talking about essential life skills for children that will help them in future. I want to say a very big thank you to everyone that has joined me. Also, want to say a very big thank you to everyone that will still listen to this. Please feel free to like, feel free to comment, feel free to share, feel free to subscribe. Open House with Dr. Lola comes up every year as we celebrate International Women's Day, and people send in their questions, and possible and probable answers are provided for. Um, I'm not sure I was able to take all the questions, but please, if you still have questions, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, Icon of Fragrance, on all social media, Icon of Fragrance, one word together, and come into my DM and we can pick it up from there. Once again, thank you all for joining me this afternoon, and it is from me to you saying bye bye. Thank you so much. See you again next year on Open House with Dr. Lola. Feel free to follow me on all social media. Several programs come up every time. By June, we're going to be having Finance and Investment Summit, and it's going to be hybrid. So feel free, to join in. It's also going to be free, but registration will be compulsory, and a lot of other programs like that. And I'm very sure that in August, we're going to be having Children Praise and Pray as well. Just feel free to follow me on all social media for regular updates, regular videos, and regular, how do I put it, programs. Thank you all again for joining in. I'm so grateful to have you join me this afternoon. Till we see again on Open House with Dr. Lola. Bye. Keep flourishing, keep growing, keep learning. Thank you. Bye.